Before the Norman conquest of 1066, Sandwich was one of 5 towns on the Kent coast with special trading privileges. In exchange, the towns provided the king with ships and men. Before the Wonsum Channel silted up, Sandwich was the chief harbour for the export of wool. But that didn't stop the town from engaging in other pursuits. With Europe just across the channel, smuggling was a major industry. Many caves along the south coast led to the cellars of taverns and even to the homes of respectable folk. One of the smugglers' most popular haunts was in Deal at the Ship Inn.
Deal was unique as a smuggling town, unlike most of the other towns around the Kent coast, in that the whole community was involved in smuggling, even right up to the mayor, who would store goods for the smugglers in his factories and warehouses, and so that's why smuggling made this place prosperous.
The trade went both ways. Wool was shipped to France, tobacco, spirits, lace and tea came across to England. It was a thriving enterprise, all to avoid taxes. But that wasn't all the smugglers were up to.
The smugglers were engaged in, shall we say, a bit of espionage. So they would pop across the channel and deliver information to Napoleon's army about the British. Of course, what Napoleon didn't know is that they were then picking up information from the French and delivering it to the British. But Napoleon was very pleased with them. He thought they were wonderful sailors, he thought they were great sources of information, and actually built them their own dock in Calais, just for the smugglers.
In 1804, Napoleon declared his intention to invade England. The response was fast. The Royal Military Canal was dug across the marshes between Hythe and Romney in order to ferry troops to the coming battle. Martello towers were erected along the coast and tunnels dug into the cliffs at Dover.
These underground tunnels were excavated in the year 1797, and it actually took 13 years to cut the chalk away to create a means of defending Dover Harbour against Napoleon's possible invasion.
Together, J.R. Lloyd, 2B2RA, number 2 Battalion of the 2nd Company of the Royal Artillery. Now the piece de resistance is actually the date, 28th of June. Now look, the N ran the wrong way. Can you see an E? No E. So it's probably still somewhat illiterate. And then 1863. It's perfect in every way because you've got everything.
Napoleon, despite being a very clever man, he actually put off the invasion too long. 1815 arrived, that was the Battle of Waterloo, and if anybody knows their history, they will know that that was Napoleon's downfall, the Battle of Waterloo. So along with his defeat went his threat, basically.
A century and a half later, these same tunnels were to play a crucial role in planning the rescue of British troops from France.
Because of the very nature of the tunnels and the bravery of everybody concerned, the 2-day rescue plan lasted for 9 days. Over 1/3 British and Allied troops were rescued, and with the war continuing and getting steadily more severe, the strategic placing of these tunnels saw them remain active right up until the very end of that war. It would have been an absolute hive of activity. It is rumoured that something in the order of about 700 people were working down here. Most of it was to do with communication in one way or another. But then you see, there was the determination not to be beaten, and it was a question of just doing their part, working as many hours as they could under the appalling conditions in these tunnels to just bring to a conclusion this awful Second World War.
Across the South Downs to the coast near Brighton is Newhaven, a little port guarded by a fort dating from the Napoleonic era. Newhaven's harbour was to play another role in the Second World War, when its small boats set out across the channel to rescue soldiers fighting in France. The massive walls, ramparts and gun emplacements are part of a long line of coastal defences guarding the English Channel. The old barracks are still there, giving a sense of the soldiers' living conditions. And a typical homemade air raid shelter is a reminder of the wartime blitz. For more information, visit our website on topoftheworld.net.